GTR.
Hey everybody, I'm Dan Sindel, and welcome to Lesson 4 of Easy GTRs, Learning to Play Bach's Prelude. Now what we're doing is, we're working with the score. It's the tab and notation. You can come up to easygtr.com, sign up for the newsletter, download the workbook, print it out, and study along with us note for note. We got a lot to do today, and what we're going to do is, we're going to finish up part 1. I broke the song up into 2 logical parts. And the front half, we're going to finish up with bars 15 to bars 22. So once again, download the score, print it out, and let's get to work. Alright, before we dig in, let's get tuned up real quick. I'll put the tuner right here for you, and once again, the Peterson strobo clip. I'll hit you the low E one more time. Tune up to that. And I'll give you A note. Alright, sounds good. Alright, get tuned up and we'll get to work. Oh, by the way, I just have to thank a lot of our sponsors for supporting the Easy GTR videos. If you guys roll to the end credits, you'll see a lot of different logos, a lot of companies that support the videos, and definitely check out some of the stuff. It's really great gear and it'll definitely help you along. We got MXL mics, we have Rocktron providing the sound reinforcement. Yeah, there's just a lot of cool stuff, so definitely check out some of the sponsors too. Alright, we'll see you in a second after you get tuned up. Alright, bar 15. Now once again, if you look very carefully at the score, you'll notice that the same idea or concept applies here. We learned the first 2 groupings of 16th notes, the first front half of it, and then we get to repeat the same idea. So it's kind of nice. You only have to learn a lot of this portion of the song. A lot of the ideas just keep repeating, as you've probably noticed if you're working with this. So what we have here, the first grouping of 16th notes, we have F sharp, C, D, C. Sounds like this. F sharp, C, D, C. And the second grouping says D, C, D, C. We just bounce back between the 2 notes. D, C, D, C. So if we put groupings 1 and groupings 2 together, it sounds like this. I'll go ahead and repeat it one more time for you. F sharp, C, D, C, D, C, D, C. We repeat. F sharp, C, D, C, D, C, D, C. Bar 16. Now let's look very carefully again at the score. We'll realize we have the same thing going on here. We learned the first 2 groupings of 16th notes, which completes the phrase, and then we just get to repeat it. So let's look at the first grouping of the first 4 16th notes. We have a G, B, and look very carefully, we have an F natural. That's our 3rd note, which cancels out the F sharp, which is part of the key of G itself. And our last note is E, so it sounds like this. G, B, F natural, E. Now our second grouping of 16th notes, we have an F natural. It still remains for the entire measure here. F natural, B, and then it just bounces back, F natural, B. F, B, F, B. So the first 2 groupings of 16th notes sounds like this. Then all we do is repeat it. G, B, F, E, F, B, F, B. So as a review, bar 16 will sound like this. Repeat. Bar 17. Once again, we learned the first two groupings of 16th notes, and it just repeats. Let's look at the first grouping. We got the notes G, C, E, D. G, C, E, D. The second grouping says E, C, E, C. E, C, E, C. So that sounds like this together. Then it just repeats. Let's review bar 17. Repeat. Bar 18 will have exactly the same thing going on here. We play the first front half, the first two systems of 16th notes, and the idea repeats. Same principle. Let's look at the notes. We have G, F sharp, C, B. That's our first grouping. G, F sharp, C, B. The second grouping says C, F sharp, C, F sharp. C, F sharp, C, F sharp. So let's put the first two groupings together. Then it just repeats. That easy. I'll go ahead and review bar 18 for you. Bar 19, now we're up for a little bit of a challenge. This is just a little bit different. We don't have the whole thing going on where we just repeat. We have a new run going on. If you look at the notes, we've got a small climb of notes going up, and then we got a run that goes down descending. So let's look at the first four notes. The first system, we have a G, D to B to an A. G, D, B, A. Now fingering, as I always say in each one of these lessons, it's up to you to find your own fingering. And I have a certain way I like to do it. Everybody's different, but just make sure you're trying to hit the right notes. That's the important thing. So here we go. G, D, B, A. The second grouping says B, G, F sharp, E. B, G, F sharp, E. Okay, let's repeat groupings 1 and groupings 2. Grouping 3 tells us D, C, B, A, just descending. D, C, B, A. One more time. And grouping 3, we're still descending. G, F sharp, low open E to a D. G, F sharp, open E, D. I'll review bar 19. And up to speed, it would be something like this. Now bar 20, we get to learn the same idea once again and repeat it. Let's look at the notes. The first grouping is C sharp, A, E, F sharp, and I've chosen an open A. C sharp, open A, E, F sharp. The second grouping says G, E, F sharp, G. G, E, F sharp, G. Let's put the first two groupings together. Then we just repeat it. I'll go ahead and review bar 20 for you. Bar 21 will carry over into bar 22. That'll complete the lesson for today. It'll also end the phrase, and it will also end part 1, as I've divided this song into 2 parts. We'll begin the long journey of part 2 in our next session. So let's look very carefully at bar 21. We're now back to C natural. As you remember from bar 20, we were dealing with a C sharp. Now we're back to C natural, open A, D to an E. That's our first grouping. C, A, D, E. Grouping 2, F sharp, D, E, F sharp. F sharp, D, E, F sharp. So those 2 groupings will sound like this. Then if you look very carefully once again at the score, you'll see it just repeats. We get to do the same thing all over again. So in essence, bar 21 will sound like this. Repeat. I'll do it one more time. Now bar 22, we'll just play C, A, D, F sharp. Then we're going to play a B, C sharp to a D. B, C sharp, D. And we sustain that D. There's that little bird's eye. It's also called a fermata. That means you hold it as long as possible. So bar 22, that last little grouping will sound like this. C, A, D, F sharp, B, C sharp, D. I'll repeat bar 21 and bar 22. That'll finish the lesson, and we'll see you guys soon.